Have you ever looked at an Apple product, your iPhone, MacBook, or iPad, and just thought, damn, why does this look so good? Like, seriously, what's the secret? And why can't other brands seem to replicate that same feeling? Because when you look at laptops, phones, or tablets from other companies, they just don't hit the same. They don't feel as clean, as premium as Apple. Even for me, someone who doesn't always shoot perfect tech footage, I've noticed something weird. No matter how bad the lighting is, no matter what camera I use, my MacBook Air still looks good. It just naturally looks right on camera. And that got me thinking, what's actually going on here? How does Apple pull this off every single time? Today I'm gonna break it down. Let's get started. The first and the biggest reason we even ask what's the secret comes down to something you don't consciously see. These invisible details your brain just accepts as comfortable. Apple is obsessed with this. When they design anything, they're not just making it look good, they're making it feel right. And a perfect example of that is something as small as the corners of their devices. At first you might think, okay, corners? Really? Every phone has rounded edges. That's nothing special. And yeah, that's true. Rounded corners are basically the standard now. But Apple doesn't just do rounded. What they use is something called a squircle. If most other phones use standard rounded edges, which is basically just a straight line hitting a curve at a 90-degree angle, this actually creates a tiny, sharp visual jolt where the line meets the curve. Apple does something totally different. They use a mathematical shape called a squircle. It's a perfect middle ground between a square and a circle, and the logic behind it goes pretty deep. In design terms, this is called G2 curved continuity, and Apple sticks to it because it's literally proven to be the most comfortable shape for the human eye. G1, for example, is too sharp, it feels harsh. G3 is too round, it starts to look soft and kind of unserious. But Apple's G2 is that just right sweet spot. And once you notice this, you can't unsee it. Every single Apple device follows this exact same curve. iPhone, MacBook, iPad, it's all consistent. Nothing feels out of place. What's even more impressive is that this doesn't stop at hardware. Apple applies the same idea to software too. Their app icons, animations, widgets, it all follows the same squircle logic. Even when an app's original logo isn't a squircle, Apple reshapes it to fit the system, like Chrome for example. It's supposed to be a circle, but on iOS it becomes a squircle so everything looks clean and unified. It wasn't always like this though. Before 2017, Apple devices had rounded corners, but they were using a simpler, less refined curve. Then the iPhone X came out, and that's when Apple fully switched to this G2 squircle design. That's when everything started to feel perfect. And that's also why people say Apple hasn't changed much since the iPhone 12. It's not that nothing changed, it's that they already found the ideal shape. Now we're just used to it. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I'm not justifying the Apple. To be honest, I agree with the people too. But Apple, I guess, will probably keep using it until people get tired of it, which might take a while. The next thing you start noticing is all these tiny, almost invisible pleasures. Like how satisfying is it to open a MacBook, how nice it feels to hold your phone without a case, the way a new Apple box opens, or even something as simple as clicking the trackpad or tapping your screen. Take the MacBook for example. You can open it with one hand. And yeah, it might sound like a small detail, maybe even a bit forced to talk about, but it wasn't always like this. Today it's normal, but before it was actually a premium feature. Most companies didn't even bother with it because it's way harder to engineer than it looks. They were focused on performance, not these details. So if you tried opening a laptop, you'd need both hands, otherwise the whole thing would just lift off the table. Apple solved that by perfectly balancing the hinge resistance with the weight of the base. So when you lift the lid, the bottom just stays in place. It sounds simple, but it's insanely precise engineering. And then there's the unboxing experience. You know that feeling when you open a new Apple product and it just slides out slowly? That's not random. Apple spent years designing that exact feeling. They literally have rooms where designers test hundreds of box prototypes, different materials, different textures, different air pressure, just to get that one perfect moment right. They even tune the air inside the box to create that float down effect, so it opens slowly and smoothly, almost like you're opening something expensive like a watch or jewelry. That experience matters to them. As for the haptics they make inside their iPhones, iPads, and the MacBook trackpads, you've probably noticed how it feels to pay with Apple Pay or use Face ID on iPhones, and that's so satisfying, not gonna lie. And that's satisfying because it has specific haptics. And have you noticed that this is more satisfying than the most phones and laptops laptops from the other brands, which don't give you that feeling. And here's the explanation for that. iPhone haptics are considered satisfying primarily due to the Taptic engine, a specialized linear motor that delivers precise, crisp, and subtle feedback rather than the buzzing, noisy vibration of traditional smartphone motors. And that matters to Apple, to make every laptop, phone, and iPad satisfying when people touch them. On top of that, the materials they use make it even more satisfying. You probably like your phone without a case, but you don't use it without one, right? The fact that you like it more without the case explains why it's so satisfying to touch your phone directly. And not only phones, but also MacBooks and iPads are equally satisfying because of their materials. And you might ask why? Because it's clear that nobody makes it as satisfying as Apple, neither phone companies nor laptop manufacturers. And the secret is the materials used in production and the symmetrically located buttons on the keyboard, where the gaps between the buttons are always the same. Nothing is bigger or placed farther apart. And also, MacBooks and iPads are milled from a single block of aluminum, creating a solid, rigid structure that feels substantial and durable, rather than hollow or flexible. Apple uses materials like high-grade aerospace aluminum, stainless steel, and later titanium, which provide a premium, balanced weight. The glass used is often treated with advanced oleophobic coatings to feel smooth to the touch. Now here's the real reason why other brands can't replicate that Apple feeling. Because you might think, okay, if engineers understand all these details, why don't they just copy it? Why not do the same thing? And the answer comes down to one thing: CMF, which stands for color, material, and finish. Let me break it down for you and start with the first letter C, which is color. The thing is, as you know, Apple mostly offers only 5-6 colors for their devices, and they don't just call them black or gray, which would be easy. Instead, they use names like midnight, space gray, and the reason is not only about picking a favorite shade, it's more about psychology, trends, and the consistency over the years. When you say black, it just sounds like a regular black laptop or iPhone, but the philosophy Apple uses is giving colors an identity, such as Pacific blue or rose gold. Those are carefully engineered identities. Apple's CMF always ensures that, for example, the gold of an iPhone matches the gold of a MacBook. The tone should be identical across devices. It makes it fun for people to collect them and strengthen the ecosystem. And you already know that this is one of the best structured ecosystems in the world right now. Then comes the letter M, which is material. Apple uses high-end materials almost everywhere. Aluminum for most devices, stainless steel for older Pro models, and now titanium for the newest ones. It has one of the best strength-to-weight ratios of any metal. It's nearly as light as aluminum but as strong as steel. But the real difference isn't just the material itself, it's how they use it. Most other brands build devices from multiple parts, mixing plastic and metal, assembling everything together. It works and functional, but it doesn't feel special. Apple does something different. They use what's called a unibody design, where the entire device is carved from a single block of material into one continuous structure without weak joints or gaps. And that's why it feels dense, rigid, and premium. And it's not just about looks, it also helps with heat and the weight balance so the device doesn't feel cheap or fragile. And then we get to the last letter F. Finish. This is where the magic really happens, because when you actually touch an Apple device, it doesn't feel like raw material. It's not cold, it's not sharp, and it doesn't get covered in fingerprints instantly. It feels soft, almost silky. That comes from processes like bead blasting, where they heat the metal with millions of tiny particles to create a super fine texture. That's what gives it that smooth, satin-like feel and removes that cheap, shiny look. And then there's anodization. While most companies just paint their devices, which eventually chips or scratches, Apple doesn't do that. They chemically embed the color into the metal itself, so the color isn't a layer, it's a part of the material. That's why even after years, Apple devices still look clean. And when you combine all of this, color, material, and the finish, you start to understand why it's so hard to copy. Because it's not just one process, it's everything working together at the same time. So I think now you clearly understand why when you look at Apple devices, you're like, damn, why is this so good? What's the secret? Because the secret is clear. It's a big engineering process that has been mastered over the years. Now, Apple's design is technically ideal and gives that perfect feeling, so people don't even understand how they did it. And most companies can't replicate it, simply because it's not one structure. It's tons of processes that were optimized, along with engineers who learn how to make it look that good. By the way, if you want to hang out with me and other tech people outside the videos, the Discord server link is in the description. I post behind the scenes stuff there, like setup updates and the things I buy, and we also talk about tech news and the people's setups, and if you join before 100k subs, you'll get a special role. So I guess this is where I should end the video. Thanks for watching and take care.